Hey, thanks for joining us at the Hobbit House again. Today we'll be installing two high-efficiency ductless heat pumps. These are 9,000 BTU units, and you may think that sounds small, but the way we've insulated this building, one of these units would handle all of the heating or cooling necessary. But by having two, we have better airflow, and if one should need service, it's not an emergency. Here I am starting with the inside unit, which is mostly a matter of fastening this bracket to the wall securely and in the correct position to allow proper airflow in and out. We usually need about 6 inches to let air in at the top. Here I'm taking measurements for the single hole necessary to pass the refrigerant lines, condensate drain, and power and control wiring through the wall. If you know you're going to be installing one of these when you're building the place, you can install a piece of plywood behind the drywall that makes fastening the mounting bracket much easier and stronger. Like so. I can just screw anywhere I want. Now to remove the cover for the wiring, which passes through the back of the unit. There are 4 wires to be fastened to the terminals in there. We've got a ground, the 2 power wires, and 1 wire for communication between the indoor and outdoor units. And with everything in position, there's the strain relief. After screwing that down, you can put the cover back on. Now to carefully bend the refrigerant lines into place to go through the wall to avoid kinking them, though they do help you out here with a coil spring type bender on the liquid line and a short rib section on the gas line. Now I'm taping up the insulation around everything and taping the condensate line and the wiring to it to prepare to pass through the wall. And hook onto the bracket. Takes a little bit of fiddling to get it in place. Then check and level again to verify that it's in proper position. And proceeding to the outdoors, where I am fastening the electrical disconnect to our utility pass-through fake chimney thing here. Fishing the wiring down into the utility room. Sealing up around the wire. Now to strip that. Fasten it into the disconnect. Here I am digging a nice level spot for the stacks of concrete blocks that will support the compressor units. The blocks will be glued together and of course perfectly leveled. There goes the unit on top of them. And then it will get some rubber feet to deal with the vibration. And when I'm done installing this thing, I'll screw it to the blocks with some tap cons. A hole to match the interior one with a nice grommet thing. And some sealant. There's the refrigerant lines and wiring all passed down through. Now after figuring out the length that the lines need to be, cut through those and put a nice bend in it to attach to the outdoor unit here. There's reaming the interior of the pipe to prepare for the flaring. And I've done the same thing on the inside, but I'm just showing the tightening it together as the lighting is terrible. Back to the outside, I'm using this gel, which is a lubricant and sealant for these types of fittings, and tightening that securely to a reasonable torque. I'm attaching my core removal tool, which provides a valve and a couple of ports that allows you to unscrew the valve core from the service port here for better flow when you're evacuating the system with the vacuum pump, reducing the time it takes to do so. And connecting the vacuum pump, I'll leave the valve on my core removal tool shut until I turn the vacuum pump on as a step-by-step leak check, because you'll hear the gurgling sound when I first turn this on due to the small section of line it's pulling on, and then the longer duration gurgling sound when I open it to the rest of the system there. So as you can hear, it's gradually tapering off, letting me know that I don't have a massive leak somewhere. And since that has to vacuum for at least a half an hour to get down to the level of vacuum necessary to remove all moisture and contaminants from the lines, I like to use that time to do all the wiring. Here I'm installing the liquid type fittings, and taking a moment to help everybody install the fascia boards.
Don't sink those.
And back to the wiring. I'm cutting my flexible conduit. Fishing it into place with the power and control wiring from the indoor unit. And there it is with the power from the disconnect in place. Well, I wait until the system has been vacuuming for about a half an hour before attaching the high precision vacuum gauge, because its sensor is very sensitive to contaminants. And we wouldn't be at the vacuum level necessary until now anyway. There, at around 300, would be good enough. But I'll give it another few minutes and see if it keeps pulling down. And there, I don't often achieve that. But under the right conditions, there's a 150. Now I close the valve and see how fast it rises. It's always going to rise some because we're measuring so finely. That doesn't indicate a leak. Having held at 200 microns after several minutes indicates that the system is dry and there are no leaks. So now I reinstall the valve core. And release the refrigerant. Now I use some more sealant when reinstalling the caps for the service valve and the valves that held the refrigerant in the outdoor unit. And listen to how quiet that is. And on the inside too. Thanks for watching.